How much income and credit does a tenant need in order to qualify for a rental? That's a very common question that I get asked. A landlord's rule of thumb that they're looking for is income to be 3 times the monthly rent and credit scores to be above 700. By income, I'm referring to household income. So let's just say, for instance, the rent is $3,000. They're going to want to see around household income $9,000 a month. Like I said, this is a rule of thumb and there's a lot of variables that can go into this. Example, you can have really high credit and you can have a lot of debt. And you can have really low credit and not have a lot of debt. You can have mid or low 600 credit and your credit limit maybe a $500 TD credit card and maybe your balance is $200 or $300. Well, now the credit utilization is 50%. So the credit score is naturally not going to be as high because the utilization and the amount of debt that you owe versus how much debt is available is high. So a quick tip on building your credit is having that as low as possible. Pay off all your debt. As soon as you can get a credit limit increase, get it, but don't spend all of it. Always try to get your increases, try to get different credit cards. Do not apply for credit cards if you don't have the best credit to begin with, because if you get rejected, that also affects it. And when you apply for a credit card, it does affect your credit score a little bit, but it's a good way to also build your credit. I like to just use an example. So it's a husband and wife that are looking at a $3,000 rental. So I would look at the household income and I would look at both credit reports of the husband and wife example. I would see how much are they making, how much is the household income combined, and then how much are the credits, how much debt do they have. If the debt is really high, then a landlord may reject the profile right off the start. But a good way to go around this is by giving them more security. So you can also do first, last plus security. You can pay like another couple months, if they're high income earners, but they also have a lot of debt. There's a lot of ways that you can go around this. You can have proof of savings, so you can show financial responsibility. From a landlord's perspective, they are looking at the credit score and they're looking at the debt and they're seeing how the financial responsibility of the tenants are. So if they see delinquencies, those are red flags. So you definitely don't want to be missing payments, even if it's just your minimum payment. I know times can get a little tough. It's better just to make the minimum payment at least, so you're never getting delinquencies on your credit report. Those are big red flags for landlords, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, as well as when I'm representing the tenants, so I can better help them get the place that they like. So if they're two high income earners, they make 3 times the monthly rent, that's cool. That's perfect. Income is taken care of. Now we have to look at the credit. I'll analyze the credit and I'll see how is the debt. If the debt is a little bit higher up, then they may have to offer more security to the landlord. Security can be first, last, maybe an extra last. So when you leave, you would give your 60 days and you wouldn't pay rent for those 2. On the tenant side, if you offer it, it makes your offer more attractive and it'll make you stand out versus other tenants that maybe have a better profile than you. So that shows a little bit of financial discipline. Also, another thing that you can show is like any type of savings or investment accounts. Those really, really help out. And my entire process is doing pre-offers. So for this scenario, I'll get the husband and wife's income and their credit. I'll share that with the landlord and make sure that they're okay with renting to them based off of what we have. And I'll explain to them their situation. If they have any delinquencies, I'll be able to explain that. And we'll go see places where the landlords are okay with renting to them. Sometimes when they have a 750 minimum credit and the credit score is way below that, if they can service the debt no problem and they're in the mid 600s, I could probably still get them pre-approved. The landlords are just saying that because they prefer it, right? It's like saying no pets. If you have a pet and you do a pet deposit, they'll be like, okay, that's okay, we'll take it. So it's kind of weird that they do that, but that's kind of the way it is in the rental market, I'm finding. So the way I would represent the husband and wife is I would send them a list of every single property that's available. They'll choose which ones that they like. Let's just say it's 3 or 4 units. I'll do a pre-offer on the 3 or 4 units and see if the landlord is okay to rent to them. If they're okay, I'll go ahead and schedule the showing right away. We know now that you have all your documents ready, and now we just got to go see the place. I don't show any property without getting my clients pre-approved. That has been the ultimate game changer, and especially if you're lower credit or the income's not the best, then you have to do pre-offers. Going out there driving to go see a property that you like and you fall in love with it and you're already planning on how you can organize your furniture, all of a sudden to put an offer in and get rejected, it can really feel belittling and it's not a good feeling at all. So I do it completely opposite. So I'll get you pre-approved by the landlord before we even step foot in the property, and we'll go see the places that are only pre-approved. So you know that if you actually like it and we put an offer in, you're more than likely going to get accepted. Now we just kind of wait, and they've already seen the documents. So if they have any questions, we can get those types of documents and we can, that's when we're kind of working out the deal together. And that's really how I help people out, because I like to help everybody out in rentals, and I feel like everybody needs a home no matter what circumstance you're in. And I know a lot of people are in tough times, right? But yeah, I wanted to make this video and just explain that just because they have a 750 minimum credit, or they're saying the income 3 times the monthly rent, it doesn't always necessarily mean that. There's so many factors, and every tenant and every profile I come across is so different, and it's a case by case basis. I can't really have a general rule of thumb, 3 times the monthly rent, 750 credit or 700 credit minimum. You can't really follow that because, like I said, they can have a lot of good credit but have a lot of debt that goes along with it, and a landlord may still reject it, right? Even super high income, they may say, why are you renting? I don't want finding a place to rent to feel discouraging, especially if you have lower income and lower credit. That's totally okay. Best way around that is, like I said, doing pre-offers, making sure the landlord would consider renting to you before you even go take a look at it. And that way that when you do go see the place that you like, you know that the landlord has already seen your profile and they are already okay with renting to you. So all that's left is for you to see it, enjoy the place, put the offer in, and get accepted. My name is Brandon Achabar. I'm a licensed realtor here in Ontario, and I have over 200 Google reviews. I've helped quite a few tenants in the past couple of years of me being in the business, and I continue to help more every single day. So if you have any questions, you want to reach out, I'll leave my contact information below, and yeah, that's pretty much it.